To suspend President Trump for 2 years. Was this a reasonable consequence for what he said?
Well, as always, it's a decision for the company to make and any platform to make, and clearly they've come out and made their decision. Our view continues to be, though, that every platform, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, any other platform that is disseminating information to millions of Americans, has a responsibility to crack down on disinformation.
Thank you, Jen Psaki. One more on Trump's suspension from Facebook.
We learned a lot from President Trump, the former president, over the last couple of years about his behavior and how he uses these platforms. It feels pretty unlikely that the zebra is going to change its stripes over the next 2 years. We'll see.
So, thank you. Okay. Did you see Trump's whiny statement about getting kicked out, being off Facebook for the next 2 years? He said, the next time I'm in the White House, there will be no more dinners at his request for Mark Zuckerberg and his wife. It'll be all business. Oh, Grandpa, next time you're in the White House. Did you see his pants on backwards? And he peed his pants? Did you see it?
I think that was Photoshopped.
No, I thought that too. It was not. We can't decide the whole. He has a mangina, and there's obviously a diaper, and he had like lady pants on because there was no zipper, and he peed his pants.
I think that was Photoshopped.
No, it was not. I'm telling you. Paula
And by
Poundstone.
the way, you know what? I would have zero problem with an incontinent president,
right?
That that honored democracy and the Constitution, and that wasn't a criminal.
You would just ignore that.
I don't. I wouldn't feel it was any of my business at all. You know, Mike Pence says that he is very proud of all that he and President Trump. He spoke to him many times.
Right.
Many times.
As you do after someone tries to have you hung.
Yeah. He's spoken to him many times. In fact, he characterized the conversations. He says that President Trump would say to Mike Pence that he's a weak, spineless snake.
Right.
And that Mike Pence would say to President Trump, please don't hurt me.
Right.
And that was
He called him to his face, remember? He said you can either go down as a great hero or as a
Yeah. Right. And those are the conversations that they've had many times.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to drop a 1,000-pound fire pit on you on Saturday, and you're back on Monday, so it's not like you have any more.
I didn't realize that was intentional.
Well, now you
Wow.
do.
See, that was the thing. Mike Pence didn't realize it was intentional either.
Well, and you pointed out on Twitter, Mike Pence says he doesn't know if he and Trump will ever see eye to eye about the events of January 6th. Of course, they can't see eye to eye if Pence doesn't take his lips off Trump's ass.
Right.
You know,
It's
you don't
very
normally
hard.
go lowbrow like that, Paula Poundstone. But there you went.
Apparently, Mike Pence had no idea that Trump had anything to do with that. One of the things that he said to him in one of the recent conversations that they've had, because they've talked many times.
Multiple times.
Multiple
All the time.
Multiple times. And, they may not see eye to eye. Apparently, he had no idea. Thought that thing hanging outside was a lanyard. Had no idea. So,
Hey, look, Ken in Chicago wants to tell a joke while Paula Poundstone's here. Hi, Ken.
Uh-oh.
How are you? Uh-oh. Did I do that right?
Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
Ken
in Chicago. Hello. You're on with Paula Poundstone. Not that that's any extra pressure. What's that?
I don't think we have Ken anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
damn it.
Okay.
She was going to drop a fire pit on Ken.
Is David here? No? Does none of this? Hello, David.
Yeah.
In David in Detroit. Hi, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to remind you guys how we're kind of repeating the same nonsense from 8 years ago. You got your Michelle Bachmann. That's Marjorie Trader Green.
Yes.
You got your Joe Lieberman. I don't need to even tell you who that is right now. We already know who that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they weren't they worshiping Bush statues or Bush cutout boards in churches back?
Yeah,
when
but
he
he
was
said the same thing.
president?
God made him president and blah blah blah.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, remember what George Bush thought? It's that same thing, right? It's all kind of mushed together.
David, I didn't realize that.
But they made Trump into an actual golden idol.
Yeah, they did. Which I thought, I'm an atheist, but I was raised Methodist, and I could swear there was like a false idol thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, not supposed to.
I mean, there's a story, cautioning against creating golden calves, statues of.
You're just a helper. That's what you are, Paula Poundstone. We've already told several stories like that this morning. Also, Link from Mod Squad has died, and I just reminds me. I know. I loved Mod Squad.
I did too.
I was always impressed with how perky Julie's boobs were, despite running apparently miles and miles and miles. Wasn't
that?
Right, just in the opening, she ran like miles with those two guys.
Clarence Williams III, right?
Yeah.
My home perm was modeled off Lincoln Mod Squad.
Did you have a perm?
I had a home perm that my mom apparently modeled it off Lincoln Mod Squad because it was very large. My high school boyfriend was like, "Wow, that's big." When he picked me up for the prom, he's like, "That's so big." Anyway, Paula Poundstone, my point is, you just made
I'm sorry about him.
not many people start a sentence with, Travis, that reminds me of Mr. French and Family Affair.
Because Travis was saying that they were, they didn't go to a restaurant or to a grocery store because they realized they had arugula. Him and his husband, they had like some very, what strikes to me as separate category ingredients.
Yes.
And yet they were able to put together apparently, a feast.
Yes.
As Mr. French did.
And I said, reminds me of the Family Affair episode where Mr. French, they were, for some reason, Mr. French and the twins were lost, and they found a cabin.
Bobby and Sissy, we decided, were on Lawrence Welk. This was Bobby and Jody.
Buffy.
No, Buffy and Jody.
Buffy and
Right.
Jody.
Sorry.
These were your difficult years. She's catching up. She didn't watch that stuff. She was too young.
Yes.
And Mr. French was able to. They found like a handful of items in the cabinets in this cabin in the woods that they were sheltering in, and Mr. French was able to make them both a happy and a healthy feast.
Yeah, that's
very
Travis.
much like Travis.
Travis is the Mr. French.
Yeah,
of this family affair.
Yes.
I mean, Travis had arugula in his refrigerator.
Yeah. He's a liberal.
That's an advantage right there, starting off with your arugula.
Oh, I learned it from Barack Obama, and it was left over from a salad earlier in the week.
Yeah. Annie in North Carolina, you're on with Paula Poundstone. I mean, look at you. Hi, Annie.
Hi, good morning, everybody. First off, to Chris, down here in the western part of North Carolina, the PBS stations, they still play Lawrence Welk.
Oh, absolutely. They still play it on the PBS stations here in Los Angeles.
What is a champagne lady? What? I don't understand. I love Norma Zimmer, but what's a champagne lady? What is it?
I don't know, but my real reason for calling is it was just announced this morning at the NPR station over in Johnson City, which is like 40 miles from where I am. Paula Poundstone's coming to Boone, North Carolina for the Appalachian State University Summer Festival in July.
I am.
What day is? Yeah. So I
can't wait.
To be there.
Oh, you're going to be there?
What? I hope to. What's the date?
Now you're cracking.
You have to ask your angry assistant.
You know what? Go to paulapoundstone.com. I'm not sure the date. I don't want to say the wrong date and then have people there, because that's what happened to Elaine Boozler. She was supposed to come to this party at Stephanie's the other night, and the poor thing was. So I don't want to give the wrong
Paula
information.
Poundstone misdirected her on Twitter deliberately.
I'm a retired paralegal secretary, whatever. So I understand.
You know what? Go to paulapoundstone.com. The actual Paula Poundstone is useless for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Go to
Thank you.
paulapoundstone.com. I can't wait to be there, though. Thanks for calling.
I know. You're welcome. It's going to be good to see you.
Love you,
Bye.
Annie.
Get back out on the road.
Oh my God! Isn't
am.
science a wonder? I mean, just that we all got to see each other Saturday for the first
It was
time.
great.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I don't even.
Thank you, science. We were blinded with science. We all got to hug.
We hugged.
No masks.
I haven't even.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna hug my oldest daughter this week, but I haven't.
A lot of pre-planning.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've seen her. I would during the pandemic, I would drive to her apartment, and actually, she'd come out of her, sit on the front steps of the apartment building,
right?
And I would put a folding chair, on the grass, and I, during the pandemic, I read aloud to her from Seabiscuit.
Oh,
yeah, it was really nice. What's funny is people would walk by sometimes and they'd hear me reading aloud and they go, "Is that Seabiscuit?" It's such a great.
Is this Paula Poundstone book club? When's the meeting?
Oh gosh. So, but I never went anywhere near her.
I would have charged for. I mean, listen, you got to make a living even during COVID. Would you charge her? Wouldn't you?
Well,
You're reading Seabiscuit.
That's why I haven't been back in a few weeks, and so I'm not doing it. You know, I'm not doing it. You know what?
No.
You know what a mollycoddle
Why would
him.
you?
That's a mollycoddle
Why would
him.
you?
That's what I
That's
always
right.
say.
Yes. Okay. These stories make me crazy. Dean tweets, PGA golfer John Ram, and he's leading with a $1.7 million prize because he tested positive for COVID until this week. Too late. Don't be like John.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vaccinated, and it's tested positive for COVID until this week. Too late. Don't be like John.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vaccinated, and it's insane. It's insane. We were saying that out here, and wait a minute, let me get this step this week to define what COVID work rules will look like. Right, amended relaxing workplace safety rules for PPEs will probably be able to rules will look like. Right, amended relaxing workplace safety rules for PPEs will probably be able to take off their masks in a room if everyone there is vaccinated. Will probably be able to take off their masks in a room if everyone there is vaccinated. The rules by Cal OSHA would allow workers in a room to take off their masks if every person there does not have COVID symptoms and is fully vaccinated. Masks would still be required vaccinated. So don't you think people will snap under peer pressure because
No, and actually,
everyone will have to wear
on that is that they say, well, the businesses themselves, the employer will have to decide how to handle figuring out if everyone is vaccinated or not. I mean, there is sort of a there's a little like, well, how do you know thing in there?
Yes, it should be required. That's what I'm saying.
I think can I just say something?
Yes.
To black people. The first thing I want to say.
We go dead silent.
Well,
yes.
the first thing I want to say is that I love you, and I know that I'm not an expert on African American history, and I've learned during this pandemic, and the George Floyd and that there was a bunch of stuff.
And you have African American children. So
I do.
Okay.
But I'm not an expert. I'm not a historian, and you can't walk a mile.
Are you talking about vaccine hesitancy?
Yes.
Yes, in the black community.
Yes. Yes.
Because of Tuskegee experiment and a lot of things.
I understand that there's been a history of bad behavior on the part of the medical community towards black people.
Yeah. Systemic racism in the health
Thank you.
field in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Boy, you were a good translator. But here's the thing.
Steering her safely through a minefield.
Millions of people have gotten vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want you all to get vaccinated too, because I love you.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about because it's all of us and and it's for your neighbor. I'm talking about you. I want you to be taken care of because I love you.
No, I have an anti-vaxxer friend that I loved. It's one of my best friends, and won't get. And it's just I can't explain how it hurts my heart, and I'm just terrified every day. She's in her 70s, and anyway.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So anyway, masks will still be required if everyone in the room is not vaccinated. Workplaces would need to have workers' vaccine records on file to comply with Cal OSHA regulations, but workers in retail stores and restaurants, as well as others who interact with members of the public, will still need to mask up. The proposal also calls for ending the physically distancing with other people starting July 31st. But the whole fact is, I guess until we get full FDA approval, there's some legal, can you require your employees to be? But I think, again, there's going to be this peer pressure, right, where people go, oh, we all have to wear masks because if one guy doesn't get vaccinated, everybody has to wear masks, whereas everybody could go maskless if everybody just got vaccinated.
I think peer pressure works really good in the junior high.
Right.
And then in the years, maybe for the less mature of us, in maybe sophomore year in high school, max.
Yeah.
And then after that, not so much. I mean,
the thing is, we're doing great here. We've got the lowest rates in the country now because we complied, right, and masked up and did. So that's why it's just our vaccination rates are great, and we're almost all the way to the promised land. Oh, which is why California had to find another way to kill you. The judge, did you see that ruled that California's ban on assault weapons is unconstitutional? On Friday.
Yeah.
Right. He said, like the Swiss Army knife, the popular AR-15 rifle is a perfect combination of home defense weapon and homeland defense equipment. Governor Newsom said the fact that this judge compared the AR-15, a weapon of war that's used on a battlefield, to a Swiss Army knife completely undermines the credibility of this decision as a slap in the face to all of the families who've lost loved ones to this weapon. It's nothing like a Swiss Army knife.
Well, that's not entirely true, Stephanie. I hate to disagree
right.
with you
Okay.
because I love you too.
Sure.
But one night, my daughter bought some newfangled can opener that I could not figure out how to use. And I was going to have a can of beans for dinner. And I was alone in the house. I swear to God, I could not. I'm like banging on the can. I couldn't open the can. And I took out my AR-15 and about and I had those
beans galore.
You know what? And it was like Travis's house. Next thing I know, candlelight dinner, got beans
everywhere.
Beans and I had beans and bullets.
Sure.
Which is such a Travis. You have that recipe, don't you? Beans and bullets.
Sure. Extra roughage.
Oh my gosh, yum,
Okay.
yum.
It's arugula season. Did you go hunting for arugula?
I stand corrected.
Yeah, you can shoot the arugula.
I stand corrected, Paula Poundstone.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss Army knife. It's very much. What a fine judge to have been able. Because not everyone. You're kind of.
Is this sarcasm?
You're kind of average. You're kind of average. Not everyone would see that the similarities. It's nuanced. That's the thing about you. You're not always.
Thank you.
You're not always nuanced.
No, subtlety.
You're
not
like,
my
waxed and vaxxed. Get the vaccine.
Whatever.
You just say stuff, but it's not nuanced.
No. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
I'm going to call my new podcast, I Stand Corrected, Paula Poundstone.